show for you tonight. First of all, let's go Mets. Second of all, Ta-Nehisi Coates is going to be joining us later to talk about his book, The Message. But New York, finally getting back to normal traffic-wise. The UN General Assembly is over. And by the way, what a successful General Assembly it was. The world just exploding with peace right now. Just great session, guys. Now that the assembly's gone, New York is getting ready for its next big event, the vice presidential debate tomorrow night. Honestly, I'm not even going to watch it, and I'm going to tell you why. I already know who I'm voting for vice president-wise. But I'm going to be honest, president, still undecided. So here's the thing. As an undecided, it's basically me and 6 people who were kicked in the head by very powerful horses. I've been leaning towards Kamala Harris because of her impressive resume and her ability to switch from Indian to black like that. Like that. Like that. And if we were doing this show 15 years ago, I would probably be doing the voices. A long time ago. But on the other hand, about Kamala Harris, I've been hearing some very concerning things about her.
She's come under some criticism for being relatively vague in her policy proposals.
They don't have enough specifics on the solutions.
When she tried to explain what she would do, it made no sense. It's gibberish.
The public demands a detailed plan of action, and they're not getting it from her.
We demand that! If there is one thing that the American public demands, it is a detailed plan of, ooh, the Golden Bachelorette. I hope they selected candidates who live nearby her because old people are not known to want to change their lives. Anyway, back to the point. The point is, Harris speaks gibberish because she is part Indian, part black, and part gibber. If Kamala Harris dissolves into gibberish every time she's asked for specific policies, then I dare say she will not earn my completely irrelevant New Jersey vote.
I will get rid of unnecessary decree requirements for federal jobs.
Low and no interest loans to small businesses.
Expand the tax deduction for startups to $50,000. $6,000 in tax relief to families during the first year of a child's life. Capital gains will be 28%.
Excuse me, but as Americans, we demanded a detailed plan of action, not random numbers. You have left the door wide open, lady. Because clearly Donald Aloysius Trump would not trifle with America in that manner.
What are the specific mechanics of how prices come down? You know, the steps that would be taken in a second term for you?
Ooh. Good question. Mr. Trump, what is your detailed plan of action for bringing down prices? And I believe I'll mark your responses on this handy-dandy channel. I already have my pen ready all the way up here at the top of specificity and make sensitude. Begin.
First of all, she can't do an interview. She could never do this interview because you ask questions like, give me a specific answer. She talks about her lawn when she was growing up. This woman is not equipped to be president.
I guess I had the wrong chart. And the question, sir, was specific to how are you going to bring down inflation? Your answer so far has been, huh? But perhaps I cut you off unfairly.
She's not equipped to deal with President Xi, who I took in hundreds of billions of dollars with him, and Putin. We had no war with Putin. Remember, and I'm just going to go off just for this, with Bush, they took a lot, Russia. With Biden, they're trying to take everything. With Obama, they took a lot. With Trump, Russia took nothing. Just remember that.
Now, you know what? Maybe he didn't really want to talk about his inflation policy, since economists say it would make inflation worse, which, you know, is the wrong direction. Let's give Trump a second chance.
If you win in November, can you commit to prioritizing legislation to make childcare affordable? And if so, what specific piece of legislation will you advance?
Oh, that's a fabulous question. That's a fabulous question. Children need child care, whether it's a nanny or duct tape to a chair with an iPad. But it costs money. Obviously, duct tape and iPads and in-app purchases are...
Well, I would do that, and we're sitting down. You know, I was somebody, we had Senator Marco Rubio, and my daughter Ivanka was so impactful on that issue. It's a very important issue. But I think when you talk about the kind of numbers that I'm talking about, that, because look, child care is child care.
Now, we could let the tape continue where he says we will pay for child care with the trillions we're going to receive by levying tariffs on foreign nations, which apparently isn't how that works, but it. One more.
Political opponents are saying that you want to ban IVF. Those who are watching here tonight who may be going through this same struggle and are concerned about being able to have this option. And I'd love for you to talk to them about how they should feel.
Life is pretty tough. It can be beautiful, but it can be difficult. We are doing something with IVF, because IVF, as you know from friends and people you know, it's really worked out very well for a lot of people. It gave them a child when they would not have had a child. And I told my people I wanted to look at this a couple of weeks ago. And as you know, we have no taxes on a thing called tips. You know that?
What the actual are you talking about? How do you want people to feel about IVF? Well, I have no taxes on a thing called tips. You know what? I do actually see the connection. I get it now. So you see, IVF fertilizes an egg with a sperm, and sperm comes from a penis, and a penis has a tip. So I can only assume Donald Trump is talking about circumcision, which Jews call a tax on tips. All right, let's move on. Clearly. So clearly, what people like about Donald Trump is not his clear, specific policies as they demand from Kamala Harris. But hey, I'm still Let's hear some of Trump's passionate supporters explain what they see as his strengths.
He has really become the candidate of the working man, of the everyman.
President Trump cares deeply about rig workers, truck drivers, roughnecks.
He worked with plumbers and electricians. He worked with painters and bricklayers.
President Trump is the best friend American workers have ever had in the White House.
He's our best friend! Donald Trump is the champion of hardworking men and women. He's behind every kind of worker, from auto to sex. The kind of people... Donald Trump is behind the kind of people who have to work overtime to pay the bills.
I know a lot about overtime. I'd hated to give overtime. I hated it. I'd get other people, I shouldn't say this, but I'd get other people in, I wouldn't pay. I hated.
Yeah. You're right. You shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said it at all, because you're admitting to f***ing people over who worked for you. I mean, it's funny, but it undercuts the working man's friend thing. Well, it's fine. You don't want to give them overtime, but it's not like you think it's funny to fire them when they complain about something like not getting overtime.
Well, you're the greatest cutter. I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, that's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone.
I gotta say, every time Trump talks about workers, it's like watching A Christmas Carol in reverse. I just fired these 3 ghosts who are trying to get overtime. So the supporting the working man thing is nonsense. What other things do his supporters like about him?
I think in 65 days, the American people are going to vote for President Trump because they know he's the guy who will defend their right to speak.
We are aligned with each other on other key issues, like protecting freedom of speech.
Okay, I get it now. So it's not really a policy case for Trump, it's a principle case for Trump. The man, no matter what is said about him, he believes in the Bill of Rights, the Constitution. The government should never punish speech, even if you don't like the speech.
Mr. Trump saying publicly the FCC should revoke ABC's license over unfounded claims about ABC News allegedly rigging the presidential debate.
Former President Trump says that he will deport students who participate in pro-Palestinian protests.
Donald Trump said that anyone who criticizes the Supreme Court justices should be arrested and jailed.
Donald Trump earlier today said you burn the American flag, you should get a year behind bars.
During the 2024 campaign, Trump has been, quote, venting about the need to punish late-night comedians for their anti-Trump material.
Isn't being on basic cable at 11 p.m. punishment enough? All right. So we know the policy thing about free speech and the hero of the working class thing are all bullshit. But I'm still undecided. I'm still open. Give me something I could work with.
He's an anti-war guy. He is going to get us out of these endless wars.
President Trump believes that the next 4 years, we need no new wars.
First of all, I didn't know Max Headroom still had a show. But still, anti-war. I'm anti-war. I'm absolutely behind that sentiment.
But if I were the president, I would inform the threatening country, in this case Iran, that if you do anything to harm this person, we are going to blow your largest cities and the country itself to smithereens. We're going to blow it to smithereens. You can't do that.
That's just war with Iran. Middle East doesn't count. We've been bombing them for 40 years. They love it. Okay, forget about ideals. Forget about policies. What are the personal qualities you're voting for?
People just like that honesty of Donald Trump. He tells it like it is.
A man of his word.
He's a truth teller.
Are you f***ing kidding me right now? kidding me right now? He is a truth teller?
They're eating the dogs.
Oh, and by the way,
They're eating the cats.
anything else?
They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Of the people that live there. Am I the only motherfucker on TikTok? No? Nobody else? My wife sent me that like 10 times. And so we find ourselves not in a dilemma, but in a bit of a conundrum. The qualities and policies that people profess to be what they admire and love about former President Trump don't seem to be an accurate reflection of said former president. It's as though they've created a fictional character, a bizarro Trump, whose accomplishments and character bear little resemblance to the self-aggrandizing perpetual victim guy he continues to tell you explicitly that he is. It makes you wonder, what country does Donald Trump think he's running to lead?
Our cities have already become hellholes, a crime-ridden, gang-infested, terror-filled dumping ground, bloodshed, chaos, and violent crime. A deluge of illegals pouring in by the millions and millions. Drug dealers, human traffickers, bloodthirsty terrorists, savage gang members, pedophiles, stone-cold killers. You can't walk across the street to get a loaf of bread, you get shot. Teenagers cut to shreds. They'll walk into your kitchen, they'll cut your throat.
Oh, wait. I see. This fictional Trump, who is portrayed as much better than he actually is running to be president of a country he paints as much worse than it actually is. But I got to tell you, whatever country that is, where families are routinely murdered several times while making breakfast, could really use actual Donald Trump. The rest of us